Hello guys, my name is Ritik Maheshwari and let's continue the series on pandas. So till now what we learned is what does this pandas means and why it is so useful in the field of the machine learning and data science, and also we saw the installation of the pandas and Jupyter Lab in our system. But this video will going to be the most important and effective video in this series because we are going to cover the most basic, which also called the backbone of the pandas, which are series and the data frames object. And we are also going to see the most basic but the most important and frequently used operation on these objects. Let's start with a series. If you are familiar with the Python, then you are also familiar with the list. So list is nothing but a collection of the different kind of the element, that is a collection of the heterogeneous element, which may be the string or which may be the numeric data, etc. In the same way, in pandas the series object works. Series object is also a kind of the list in Python, and it will contain a series of the element inside it. Let's look into the practical implementation of the series. So before seeing the practical implementation, let me create a separate directory where I can store all my Python files. So let me create a separate directory as tutorial. Let's change the directory first. And as you are new to the Jupyter Lab, so there exists a command by using which we can launch the Jupyter Lab in our browser. So here is a command as python -m notebook. Press enter. So this command will going to launch the Jupyter Lab in our system, in our browser. So here it is. Now we are going to create a new file just by tapping on new python 3, and here we have our new file. So this is a simple UI, you can easily become friendly with it once you are start working on it. So let me first import a pandas because we are going to work over it, that's why, as pd. So here pd is the alias which we are going to use for the pandas library. Now I have compared, or I have told you about the similarity between the list and the series. So let me first create a demo list here, simply as we have created in Python, which contain the name of the different person like Tom, Jerry, and one more. So suppose John. Let's run this. So we have created a list named as the demo list. Now our series is nothing more than a list, but it is a kind of the object in the pandas, that's why it sounds so different. But so let's typecast this list into the series. So first create the variable named series1 and pd.series, and inside which we are going to pass our list. Okay, now let's see what does this series one variable contains. So first look onto the type of the variable, which is an object. So it is a kind of the series object which contains the three names Tom, Jerry and John along with the labels. So these labels are referring to each line, and you will become familiar with the label once we jump on the data frame. So let's talk about the data frames. Data frame is a two-dimensional structure. If you are familiar with the MySQL or any other relational database management system in which the data is stored in the form of the rows and columns, in the same way in data frames the data is stored in the form of the row and column with the index or the label referring to each line. So the main difference between the series and the data frame is that series contain only a single list along with the index or the label, while data frame contains the multiple series in it. That is, the data frame is a collection of the series. So let's look into the practical implementation of it, how we can combine multiple series in the one data frame. Now let's create another list. So I am creating the another list as demo list 2, and this list will contain the age of the different persons, so 22 and 23. Now let's run this. Now cast this list into the series. So I am creating the variable here series 2 and casting this list into the series demo list 2. Now here we have the two different series, series 1 and series 2. Now we will try to combine this both series in a single data frame. So here is an error, the series, okay, series 2. Now let's run this. Now here we have the two different series, one which contain the name of the three persons and the another, that is series 2, which contain the corresponding age of that persons. Now let's try to combine this both series into a single data frame. For this I need to create a dictionary first. So I'll create the dictionary as dictionary and suppose a name. First key of this dictionary is name and the value will be the series 1, because series 1 contains the name of persons, and the another key will be the age, and again the value will be the series 2 because it contains the age of the different person. Now let's run this. Now we will cast this dictionary into a frame. Okay, so into a data frame. So df equals to pd dot data frame, and this I'll cast this dictionary into a data frame like this. Now if I run, what does this data frame contains? Now let's see this. So here we got the data frame. As we have already talked, like this data frame contains the data in the form of the row and column. So these are the column, name and age, and it contains the 3 rows along with the label, that is 0, 1 and 2. Now this label need not to be only in the integer form, it can either in any form, and it is not mandatory for us to make this label unique, but to access any row we should try to create a index or the label of that column only which are unique. So in this way we can achieve a data frame from the dictionary. So what we done till now, let's recap this. First we imported a pandas library as PD. Then we discussed about the series. That series contains a list of the different elements. So here we created a list of the 3 elements containing the name of the persons, and we casted this list into a series, and this is how the series object looks like. It contains the name of the 3 persons along with the labels referring to each lines. Created another list which contained the age of the corresponding persons, and then we casted this list into a series 2 object, and this is how the series object looks like. It contains the age of the 3 corresponding persons along with the 3 different labels 0, 1 and 2 corresponding to each line. Then we discussed about the data frame. That data frame contains the multiple series. So here we created a dictionary. So the first key is the name, which contains the series 1, which is the name of the 3 different person as a value, and the another is the age, which contains the value as a series 2, which is the age of the 3 different persons. Then we casted this dictionary into the data frame, and this is how this data frame looks like. It contains the data in the form of the rows and columns. Here name and age are the columns, and these 3 are the different rows along with the 3 different indexes 0, 1 and 2. Now as I already told you that this index need not to be in the integer form or need not to be in the unique, but to access this data efficiently by using the different methods, we try to make index unique. Till now we have discussed about the series and data frames in this video. Now there are some more concepts in the pandas, so we will discuss it in our next video. Also we will try to work over a Stack Overflow developer annual survey data from our next video, so that we can understand more about the real world problem and we can analyze the real world data. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe, like and share this channel.